What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Panthers Pride Television. So, wherever you're listening from, I hope that you enjoyed this fabulous football weekend. Some great playoff games went going on, and also that I pray that you're not snowed in. We know it's winter time. Please make sure that you're staying warm, and if you are getting some snow, that you're taking care of your cars. Make sure you go ahead and get your car washed, etc., and take care of yourselves. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, we know, if you watched last episode, that I've been talking about my top 5 playoff moments in Panthers history. We've been an organization that has been around for going on 29, 30 years right now. We haven't had a lot of playoff moments. I'm not one of the guys that is like a Dallas Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers, hell, even the New England Patriots that has, a long playoff history. So, man, just take what I say at face value because I know what I'm talking about. So, coming in at the number 4 spot. At the number 4 spot, one of the greatest playoff moments in playoff history was dethroning the former NFC champions, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, if you know something about this was in 2015 when we went on that historic run, went 15-1, ultimately lost in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos. But if you remember during 2015, the Seattle Seahawks was a team to behold. We all know that they should have won their second championship against the New England Patriots. They dominated the then Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning. It was a blowout in the Super Bowl in New York, and then they obviously play the New England Patriots in the famous they should have handed off Marshawn Lynch game. And this team was a team that was just beating people up. I think this was the time where we physically imposed ourselves and really knocked off the Legion of Boom. After this game, they were no longer the same. I know a lot of people are going to say that the Legion of Boom wasn't the same because of the Super Bowl, and you might be right, but this was the ultimate nail in the coffin. This is what had the Carolina Panthers really on a different platform when it came to the NFC and put Cam in a different stratosphere with some of the elite quarterbacks during this time frame. Seattle Seahawks, man. We forced them to 2 turnovers. We had over 11 more minutes in time of possessions. So this right here, the 35 minutes, 38 seconds was our time of possession. We only had 295 total yards, but like I said, we had a pick 6 with Luke Kuechly. We had another interception. And the final score is not really indicative of how the game really went. Yes, the Seattle Seahawks came back and made it a game late. But at halftime, if you really remember this game, they were down 31-0 off gate. I mean, they did not have an answer for us. And I think this is what we were wanting and really hoping that we could do, because we knew that we went in there and early on in the season and beat them in Seattle with a last-second throw to Greg Olsen up the seam, and then you get them in our place in the divisional round, former NFC champions that were just physically imposing. They had a Bobby Wagner, they had a Cam Chancellor, they had a Earl Thomas. We knew what they had a Richard Sherman, obviously, a Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin. They had all these guys that were the definition and really embodied physicality on the NFC level. So what do we go out there and do? We go up 31-0 at halftime, and I'm not going to lie, we definitely let off the gas, man. Had me sweating. I was in college during this time. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing in the dorm. Our dorm was called Fleming Key. I was talking crazy to everyone. Now, when I started looking and that 31-0 went to 17-31 and we still didn't score, and then they scored 24-31, I said, oh, shoot, man. Here goes Russell Wilson, man. Here goes the Seattle Seahawks. And the former, like I said, they were the former NFC champions during this time frame. But This is really what broke the Seattle Seahawks apart. This game right here, we dominated them from beginning to end, left and right, man, and they just were never the same. And that's when I think that has to be the number 4 spot currently speaking when we're talking about all-time playoff moments in Carolina history. Number 5, for those of you that don't know, number 5, I had the Steve Smith divisional round against the Chicago Bears where he went bonkers. At the number 4 spot is us against the Seattle Seahawks. I do want to transition. Obviously, we're still talking all things Panthers. So I've done a list of my top 20 greatest Carolina Panthers players in franchise history. So I've already given you guys 20 through 18. I'll go back later on, probably next show or so. But now we're about to get to the nitty and gritty. At number 17. Now, this guy, number 17, a lot of y'all are going to look at me differently. But I just got to keep it a buck, man. Thomas Davis is number 17 on my top 20 greatest Panthers of all time. Now, you might look at these tackles, the interceptions, forced fumbles, Pro Bowls, and all pros and be like, Josh, there's no way he's not at least a top 15 Panther great. Well, when you actually go and look at what Thomas Davis was, he was a former first-round pick, went to the University of Georgia, but he had 3 ACL injuries, man. It's just hard for me to move him into the top 15. Yes, he was a Walter Payton Man of the Year, and yes, he was one of the focal points in the 2015 defense, but I just there's not a lot of me to work with, man, when you had 3 ACL injuries. Like, your only all-pro season was in 2015 where the whole defense was just phenomenal, man. We had so many all-pros, and he was a first-team all-pro, by the way, in this situation in 2015. Had 3 Pro Bowls, 13 interceptions, 18 forced fumbles, and a total of 1,098 total tackles. But it just makes me think, man, what more could have been of Thomas Davis? What more could have been of Thomas Davis if he just remained healthy? I mean, it's just hard to say, man. Thomas Davis, without a doubt, is a Panther great, but right now I got him at the number 17 spot. Number 16, Jordan Gross. A lot of you guys may not be familiar with Jordan Gross, but trust me, the Carolina faithfuls, we remember Jordan Gross. Went to the University of Utah, had played 11 seasons, and in his 11 seasons, only had 11 holding penalties. Played right tackle, played left tackle, and you telling me when you're getting the premier edge rushers, you only hold 1 time per year? Come on, man. Obviously, he's a Panther great. Was another one first-team All-Pro. Had 3 Pro Bowls as well. 44 false starts in an 11-year career, which kind of averages out to about 4 false starts per year. Like I said, left tackle, right tackle, 1 holding call per year on an 11-year basis, man. He only missed 9 games in his 11 seasons. Jordan Gross right now, I got to put him above Thomas Davis, man. Thomas Davis was great, but Jordan Gross protected the Cam Newtons. He protected Jimmy freaking Clausen. And those other guys in the 2000s, man. Jordan Gross was really another former first overall pick, man. He's a Panther lifer. Never went anywhere else. 8th overall pick. It's hard for me to say that he's not a Panther great coming in at number 16. At number 15, this is where we starting to heat up a little bit. Chris Jenkins. Now, if you remember 2003, when we went to the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, the defensive line was ran with Chris Jenkins and Julius Peppers. In his time with the Carolina Panthers, he went to the University of Miami. He had 20.5 sacks, 216 total tackles. He played for the New York Jets as well, but I would consider him a Panther lifer because he had some of his best days with the Carolina Panthers. Was a 2-time first-team All-Pro in 2003, 2004, and was also another 3-time Pro Bowler, Chris Jenkins. I mean, this was a guy that blocked kicks, point after attempts, PATs, field goals, was a game record in at the D tackle position. In 2003, we operated with Julius Peppers and Chris Jenkins, man. Those were our first team All-Pros, respectfully, in their position, man. Chris Jenkins, right now, I don't have him in the top 10, but he is definitely top 15 when it comes to the 20th greatest Panthers of all time. So, once again, let me just give you a little rundown, man. Coming in at number 17 is Thomas Davis. I know you guys are going to give me hell. I'm prepared for it. Thomas Davis, number 17. Number 16 is Jordan Gross, was another guy, only 11 holding penalties in his 11-year career. And at number 15 is Chris Jenkins, man. So I think just the more that we continue just to go on with this list, you're going to be shocked. It's hard for me to not put Thomas Davis in the top 15, but Chris Jenkins was a vital stable point in the Carolina Panthers in the early 2000s, coming in at number 15. So, some more in-house moves. We know that we just fired the defensive back coach and the inside linebacker coach this past weekend. And now there are some more moves in the head athletic trainer position and the nutrition director. So, the head athletic trainer was Kevin King, who spent 11 seasons with the Carolina Panthers, and the head nutrition director, health performance guy was Andrew Atloff, who was with the Carolina Panthers for the 4 seasons. But this is what I mean by we are making some great moves. Now, when you continuously see certain guys having the same injuries, the same nagging small injuries, I like to call them, like the hamstring pulls, certain muscle pulls, that is a direct reflection of your training program. We see it with the Cincinnati Bengals, where they have gotten a whole new upgrade in facilities. We see it with the Baltimore Ravens when they had multiple guys tear their ACLs within the same offseason before they even got into the regular season. And now you see it here with the Carolina Panthers. J.C. Horn is hurt. Derek Brown is out. Jonathan Brooks, maybe we rushed him back just a little bit too fast. He's out. Chuba Hubbard's out. I mean, you're seeing a lot of guys that are very high figures. Shaq Thompson is out. These are cornerstones in the Carolina Panthers organization, and they're out with nagging injuries. So when you do the whole reflection and we do have player exit, we asked them, "Yep, man, what do you think about, the training facility? What do you think about your nutrition? Is it up to par? What do you think about the head athletic trainer?" 11 years, and it seems like we've always had somebody that was hurt here and there when we shouldn't be, when I think that we have some of the best practice facilities in the entire NFL. You gotta take a look at the smaller level, and I'm glad that's what Dan Morgan did. I'm glad that's what the Panthers organization did. Now, I'm not obviously here saying that anybody should lose their job, but when we're seeing star players continuously have the same amount of nagging injuries, one, what is the player doing? And two, and 1A, 1B, what does the training practices look like? Like, you guys remember that we had Christian McCaffrey and he stayed hurt. What is the training regime looking like? Like, what are your training habits? Why is everybody continuously having small nagging injuries, man? So, yeah, man, that was just my thought, man. And like I said, once again, we will be back soon.